This is the second question of C12 Jan 2018. This question is about sequences. They have given us U1 as 1 and a formula which is UN plus 1 is given by 2 minus 3 times UN. N is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, so in the first part, they're asking us to find the value of U2 and the value of U3. U2, we can write it down as U1 plus 1. I'm writing it in this form to make it clear, to make it similar to this formula so that we can use this. I'm going to color code this so we can say that it's written as we're given UN plus 1, right? So here, in place of n, we've got 1. Therefore, in the formula, 2 minus 3UN, in place of n here, we're going to have 1. I hope it's clear. Now, we're going to say that U2, just substitute the value of U1 in there. So U2 equals 2 minus 3 times 1, which gives me negative 1. That's it. In the second one, which is U3, we can write U3 as U2 plus 1. So in place of UN, we have U2. So we're going to write, in place of U2, we're going to write negative 1 here. So that would be 2 minus 3 times negative 1, which becomes 2 plus 3, which is 5. Moving on to the next part. In part B, this was part A. In part B, they're asking us to calculate the value of the summation of R minus UR, where R goes from 1 to 4. So, because we're saying R minus UR, we can write this R minus UR as, if we're writing 1 in place of R, that would be 1 minus U1. If we're writing, for example, 2 in place of R, it would be 2 minus U2. So that's how it goes on. And the values of R go from 1 to 4. So we have to start from 1 all the way through to 4. We have the value of U1, we've also got the value of U2 and U3 in part A. All we have to find is the value of U4 using the same methods that we used in part A, sorry. This was just for explanation, you don't have to show this in your answer. U4 can be written as U3 plus 1. So we're going to say 2 minus 3 times U3, which is 5. And therefore the value of U4 is negative 13. Now, the sum of all of these values which I've explained here, so we can, just for explanation, I'm going to write it down here to simplify it. What we mean by the summation of R minus UR is basically this. R goes from 1 to 4. We've got R minus UR, and I can write it down as 1 minus U1, that's the first term because R starts from 1. Okay, so U1. In place of R, there's 1. In place of UR, there's U1, and that's why it's similar to the first part. Plus 2 minus U2 plus 3 minus U3 plus 4 minus U4, and that's it. Now we're going to substitute the values of all of these in here and find the final answer. That would be, we have 1 minus 1 for the first one, plus we have 2 minus the value of U2 is negative 1, so it's 2 minus minus 1, which can be written as 2 plus 1. And then we've got 3 minus U3, which is 5, so I've got 3 minus 5 plus 4 minus negative 13. So I can say if it's 4 minus negative 13, I can say it's 4 plus 13. When you put those values through your calculator, or if you add those up, you get 18. And that's the final answer.